Madame Busquet, honorable members of Parliament, thank you for the opportunity to address you this morning. It is heartening that you have chosen to focus this global summit on girls. We often hear that girls are tomorrow's women, the future mothers, the future workers, the future leaders, and that investing in girls is smart economics, because ensuring that a girl has access to education in turn increases the odds that her children will go to school. All this is true, but girls are not only the adults of tomorrow, those who will someday care for families, strengthen economies, and shape the world. They are also the children of today, whose rights are too often overlooked. Girls are now half of the largest youth generation in history. People between the ages of 15 and 24 represent almost 20% of the world population. Compared to previous generations, young women and men of today are better educated, more familiar with information and communication technologies, and more likely to become agents of social, political, economic, and technological change. Within this young generation, however, the rights and opportunities for girls and young women are very different from those of their male counterparts. Millions of young women are deprived of education or health services, have limited access to decent employment, and are particularly susceptible to gender-based violence. Yet, they remain invisible in national laws and policies. In Oceania, for instance, there are only 89 girls in primary school for every 100 boys. In sub-Saharan Africa, there are just 79 girls per 100 boys in secondary schools. Those in school too often encounter curricula that are filled with gender stereotypes, which in turn influence their study and career choices and limit their future job opportunities. Many girls also lack access to quality health services, especially related to sexual and reproductive health. Teenage girls are frequently at risk at early pregnancy, and the past decade has seen little progress in reducing the adolescent birth rate. In sub-Saharan Africa, more than 1 out of every 10 girls aged 15 to 19 gives birth to a child. Girls are also vulnerable to various forms of violence, including child and forced marriage, female genital mutilation, sexual exploitation, and trafficking. They risk violence in every setting, in their homes, at school, in the community, and in the workplace. Girls form the vast majority of domestic workers, where they often face abuse. Progress is being made. The drive to achieve gender parity in primary and secondary education has had a measurable impact on girls' enrollment and retention rates. More and more countries are adopting laws and policies to combat violence and discrimination against girls and implement laws against child and forced marriage, in some cases accelerated by policy measures and action plans. But much remains to be done. Girls do not yet receive enough explicit attention in legislative, policy, and program initiatives, and, very importantly, in resource allocation. Measures aimed at young people often do not respond to the specific situation of girls. Parliamentarians can both increase attention to the specific challenges that girls face and promote the laws, policy, and programs needed to address this. Overall, comprehensive strategies are needed to create an enabling environment to empower girls, including laws, policy, and services. Young empowered women are less vulnerable to violence, HIV, and reproductive health problems, and are more likely to engage in public, civic, cultural, and economic life. 4 areas demand urgent action. Policies are needed to increase girls' access to post-primary education, where they can gain knowledge and skills to enhance their life chances. Studies have shown that educated women have fewer children at older ages. Programs and services are urgently needed to both prevent and respond to the global pandemic of gender-based violence against girls and young women. Laws and policies are needed to enhance adolescent girls' access to sexual and reproductive health, reducing the risk of HIV infection and of early pregnancy. Law enforcement and other efforts are needed to eliminate child labor, including domestic labor. Urgent attention should also be given to improving working conditions and protecting the rights of young workers. Global policy documents such as the Beijing Platform for Action and the agreed conclusions of the Commission on the Status of Women provide detailed recommendations on legislative and policy measures needed to empower girls. Particularly relevant are the 2007 agreed conclusion on the elimination of all forms of discrimination and violence against the girl child and the 2011 agreed conclusions on education, science and technology and employment. UN Women stands ready to support you in turning global-level commitments into national-level action. UN Women is also fully committed to bringing the UN system together to advance the human rights of both women and girls. The United Nations Adolescent Girls Task Force, an initiative led by UNFPA and UNICEF, is stepping up action on comprehensive programs for the hardest to reach girls, especially those aged 10 to 14. I wish you a productive meeting, one that will result in new parliamentary initiatives to promote the rights and well-being of the girls of today, as well as the women of tomorrow. Thank you very much. Great success.